Hi traders, this is the weekly Forex overview with Admiral Markets. My name is Chris. Today we're focusing on the euro dollar and pound dollar. Bullish reversals in my view is possible, but before we take a look at the charts, be aware of the Christmas special coming up with Admiral Markets. Check out the website admiralmarkets.com to find out more info about that. Also, please note that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This webinar or video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact an appropriate entity to find out if this video is suitable for you. Let's kick off with the dollar-yen 4-hour chart at this moment. And well, basically price broke through the support trend line, so we didn't get the breakout to the upside that I was anticipating. Rather, it seems like price is going to expand the bearish correction lower. So this upside, I would not be too interested in the long, or not at all. In fact, I think that price is limited in its movement to the upside. And I think that any of these fibs could act as potential resistance. Now, price did find support here, as you can see, a big wick, big candle too. So I wouldn't be surprised if price could make a little bit more upside to, for instance, the 61.8 fib or the 78.6 fib. But ultimately, the resistance levels are pretty close by compared to current price. So I think that these fibs will turn out to be resistance and turning spots for one more move down at least. And if you take a look at the daily chart, what could that do? Well, price could basically go down to the minus 61.8 target, maybe even the minus 100 target, and the S3 weekly support pivot points. Now, these pivot points are part of the MT4 Supreme Edition and MT5 too, by the way, Supreme Edition plugin. Extra 60 features, including this pivot point. So check it out at Admiral Markets, only with Admiral Markets, including the channel here, the Keltner channel, I should say, as well, and this mini terminal. So I'm expecting price to get to basically the round 100 psychological level. And I think that this upside is just a correction and a hook back for a reversal back down to 100, which also again will be a reversal level back up. And this will complete basically a 3/8 correction in A, B, C. And that's where I expect price to lift off for a new uptrend. So for the moment, I'm thinking that this is reversal territory for a move down to 100 and then a bounce up. And there's nothing really to add, I think, for the moment. If price does make this upside, there could be a huge breakout on the dollar-yen. But that, I think, still will take a little bit of time before that happens. If price does break above this top, there could be a huge breakout to the upside. And I would like to see some good weekly candles confirming that breakout. But that could send the dollar-yen in a massive or pretty good rally. In my view, at least. For the moment, though, bearishness, and unless price breaks above this top at 113.60, then I think this is a bearish structure. All right, we got webinars coming up, by the way, to discuss the dollar-yen and, of course, the euro-dollar, pound-dollar in more detail. Nenda tonight on Monday and Wednesday. I myself on Tuesday and Wednesday. And Thursday, we're going to take a look at breakouts and fakeouts. So that's a lot of webinars coming up still this week. Join us on the usual times. And of course, also each day, real-time trading ideas as well. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. I think the euro dollar is getting close to a bullish bounce zone, whether it's here or perhaps a bit lower at 116.40. I think that in both cases, price is going to get close to a bounce spot. All right, so something to be aware of. I think that looking at the daily 4-hour chart, this is a head and shoulders potential, like this. But also, if price does break below that, it's possible that it will expand its correction. I do think that the S1 and S2 could be bouncing spots for more upside. So I will be keeping an eye on these weekly pivot points. Not the S3. If it breaks below this bottom, that would invalidate my bullish outlook on the euro dollar. If price breaks above the R1, that could actually be a bullish breakout to the R2 and perhaps to the R3. So my main levels are bullish bounces at S1 and S2 and bearish breakout above R1. right here, I think price is a little bit in a gray zone. It might turn, make that move down to the S1. It might break above the weekly pivot point and continue to the R1. It's a bit, depends a bit on price action, of course, and how the candles will respond to this weekly pivot point. If there is a breakout, if there's a breakout candle, the R1 will be the next decision zone, which could be a bounce or breakout zone. If there is a big wick and price is not able to break above the weekly pivot point, there could be a bounce as well, basically back to the S1 or down to the S1, I should say. All right, so moving average is pretty flat, so price is in a range at this moment and not trending on the lower time frames at least. So there could be some volatility within R1 and S1. So I don't think there's a particular advantage of trading it right here. Momentum is to the upside, yes, but resistance is close by too. So I don't think that there's a chance it could reach the R1 and momentum can continue. But I don't think it's that great of a trade setup. I would skip that. And I think just wait for price to get to the R1, break or bounce, or get to the S1 and bounce probably. All right, I'm not looking for a break there, only a bounce. All right, now the pound dollar is also looking like it's bouncing at support. This trend line says it all in a way. And now price is approaching the weekly pivot point. Same situation here as the euro dollar. Could be a bounce or break spot. I think that the weekly pivot point is a little bit more important than the euro dollar weekly pivot point because of the fact that of the structure that we're seeing here. The pound dollar specifically is building some kind of pattern, corrective pattern. So if we get a breakout, there could be a move up to the R1, which in turn is again a new decisive spot for a bounce to the downside or a break to the upside. All right, downside break, I'm not too interested until price breaks below the R1, because the S1 could still be a bouncing spot. So S1 bouncing spot, pivot point, breakout, R1, breakout or bounce. And the S1 will be the breakout for S2 or the S2 breakout down to S3. That's my roadmap for the moment, all right? And why S1 necessarily? Why is that the breakout level for downside in my view? That has to do with this fib. I'll tell you the extra confidence here that's maybe missing or has to be added in my view is this fib. And you can see that the 50 fib has been respected, well, let's say 3 times at this moment. Good bouncing spot. But the 61.8 could also still be a turning spot. There's a quarter level at 132.50 to be aware of, the weekly S1. So I think that the 61.8 fib could still be a bouncing spot and turning spot for a uptrend continuation. Whereas if price were to break below the S1, then the outlook is turning bearish, and I don't expect this to be a bullish formation. For the moment, I see momentum and I see correction. So as long as price stays above that 61.8 fib, there could be one more upside remaining for this pound dollar. And that upside can last towards the minus 272 target, for instance, maybe even up to the minus 61.8 target. But I personally think minus 272 target is better. The break of this top, I don't think will go too far. And on the daily chart, you might see why, because it would be breaking this high. We'll probably have divergence between these tops. So I think a break, divergence between the tops, hit at the minus 272 target, and price will make downside again. That's what I'm expecting for the pound dollar at the moment. Check out the website admiralmarkets.com for more info regarding Supreme Edition plugin. Also, of course, for the Christmas special. And above all, wish you good trading. Cheers.